Okay, I think so this is the group one discussion room. So as anyone has any want to speak up, just so unmute yourself and just let's discuss. And this room also Dr. Jinuk Beck is here. Welcome, Dr. Jinuk Beck. All right. Oh, okay. So he's here. So this is okay. Sorry. Renee is here. Tamari is here. Saini is here. I'm expecting 2 more. So we'll just wait a little more, like 1 or 2 minutes. So I'm expecting to see Marama and Lilieta. So once they are on the line, then we'll get started. Somehow there's someone has some connection issues that's constantly disconnected. If you see some button, and just read carefully, just do not press without thinking, and just in such case, you'll be kicked out from the meeting room.
Use my.
Just off now.
Okay. The host will assist you if you someone who has any connection issues, and let's get started anyway. So group 1 is more about the taxonomy and biological. I think someone joined the wrong room, so that's why. So we're figuring out. Anyway, we'll get started. Let me. So from the presentation material that I shown before, so we need for your developing action plan, you need to come up with some of the goals, and then so my first question is, what will be the goals and objective to enhance women's leadership or scientific field in Fiji in terms of taxonomy and sampling? Do you have any thought? Do you have any idea? Can you share your idea? This is just not. This is just brainstorming this time, so you can just bring it up any idea. And while we are discussing, probably you can better understand or some idea what will be the proper objective, and then you just can write it up in your report and presentation. And also ask you, some of you or all of you, just make some notes here for our discussion so that you can use them in your report presentation. Okay. And welcome, Lilieta. Okay, really Tracy here, and I'm expecting the Marama to join the call, join the meeting, but just go ahead if you have any thought. So then why don't you just start it from the status of Fiji? So in terms of biological sampling and taxonomy, how many, I don't know, so what's the proper term for this? So because of Fiji is surrounded by ocean, but I think when I saw your country report, you are mainly focused on big species, and what's other taxon or other or plants or small organism? You also Fiji is also like researching in that area. Anyone? What kind of like Renee? Yeah, just you're on mute. You can speak up if you just if you wanna add any remark. Anyway, just fine. So I know it's like Fiji is popular, famous in tuna and any other fish or any other fisheries or any marine plants.
I think we're also into oysters, pearl oysters. Just recently, we've ventured into.
Oysters. Okay.
Yes.
So is it different from oysters from Asian countries or just European country? Is the species the same species or?
It's a similar species to the one they're using in Tahiti,
In Tahiti, okay.
Pinctada margaritifera. It's a subspecies, I think.
I see. Okay. So Fiji is mainly interested in fishery, some edible species and those marine products. What about the other?
Oyster was, I mean, these pearl oysters were mainly for pearls, but they're now venturing into meat, the meat, because it's also edible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's mainly for pearl.
It's mainly for pearl, but just recently they're trying to culture it for the meat as well.
I see. Okay. It tastes good or not? So we only just eat like grow farming the oyster for eating, not just the producing a whole business. Okay. Any other organisms of interest or personal interest? Because it's difficult to have all the like a different area of taxonomy to be studied in one country. And
we into trout as well. I think we're at the moment we're undergoing beach demo operations.
Beach what?
Beach demo.
Beach demo.
Yes, sea cucumbers.
Sea cucumbers. Oh, okay. All right. As for food industry or
export? Yes.
Export. Where to export? Mainly.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Okay. Yeah, they love sea cucumber. I understand. Okay. So I just want to figure out what's the challenge and opportunity in Fiji in terms of the taxonomy and which taxonomy is abundant, is relatively abundant in Fiji, but which organism, which taxonomy is not really understood or researched so far, so that you can develop an action plan. Which area of organism or taxonomy you need to develop, or just you need to bring it up, more researches and collaboration kind of things. Yeah.
Recording in
lab
progress.
and they have specimens,
Let's keep going.
but they are quite old. Like,
Mhm.
and
Recording in progress.
Okay, also Dr. Beck just asked you about the biodiversity research. I think the Fiji is probably highly diverse in terms of marine lives and marine organisms, but I think from your report is relatively unstudied. So, and I just want to know how diverse in marine lives, marine organism in Fiji in current status, and what's the estimate, and how many do you think that, how diverse in marine environment compared to the current status? Anyone share your thought? Okay, Divina, your mic is off. Your mic is off. Yeah, I understand this, like in terms of tuna, you guys have many diverse, many species, but this is just a kind of single species, single fish, and we just want to now figure it out how broad and how diverse they are in Fiji. And there will be a lot of I'm expecting there's a lot of different coral species because in your surroundings, in your nearby oceans, there's a lot of small organisms you never find in your naked eye, and so we are not looking for just answer. We just bring it up, any ideas and small thinking, and later on you combine those small ideas and come up with the action plan. And to do that, probably in order to do that, we need to know what's the challenges and what's the current status, and how do you just connect to the action plan, and how to connect to we just reach to the objective.
Okay, if like from our presentation on Monday, we mentioned like we have almost 2,000 fish species. This is just what's known at the moment.
Right.
354 corals.
Okay.
Sea cucumber, we have 30 species. Mollusks, there's over 475 species.
Okay.
Sharks and rays, we have 27 shark species, 7 ray species. And then there's benthic marine algae. We have over 422 taxa.
Okay. Is it realistic, or do you expect more?
We expect more.
We expect a lot more. So what's the challenge to discover more? What do you guys have, or what do you guys don't have? Thank you very much, Renee. And you just finally brought up some of the material we can discuss with. Okay. 350 coral, that might be a little realistic because you just actually, coral is visible, and probably the big problem that currently is just the diversity in coral species is, disappearing, losing. So it wasn't how they protect those, corals, what do you call it, demortification kind of things, and how they bring it back. And that's good issues, one issues. And I think it's one of it's a species you mentioned, and 2,000 fishes. I think it's like because fishes are really visible. And one of it's like a mollusk. I think there'll be a lot more chance to increase this number of mollusk species if you have proper knowledge and some identification skills, knowledge, and proper sampling method kind of things, right? I'm so sorry, I'm not a taxonomist or just expert in this biological sampling. I'm a computer scientist by training, but I've done some of the genome research. So, and I did a lot of collaboration here with marine biologists. So I just kind of understand that the context, but I'm not truly an expert in this field. But if you have any questions, Dr. Beck is right next to me, and I'll just deliver an answer if I cannot answer your question properly. Okay, just Renee, keep talking. All right. So then, what do you think? So what kind of species, what kind of biodiversity you guys want to find more? Renee, are you talking or
I'm sorry, we're just discussing with, just getting some clarification with the ladies.
Okay.
Mr. Youngik?
Yes, you can call me Young.
Okay, Young.
Okay.
The group comes up with sea urchins.
Sea urchin, okay. Sea urchin is delicious anyway.
Yeah.
Do you guys eat it or not?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you cook?
We have it raw.
Raw? Yeah. Raw sea urchin is delicious anyway. Okay. And it's good with the sushi, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you want to develop in this to action plan? What's the status and what's the challenge to bring it up for sea urchin? You guys want to farm sea urchin more, or what do you want from sea urchin?
So sea urchin right now is just recently become very valuable, and we just started export.
Export to which country? Japan or?
US.
There are not many countries to eat sea urchin that I believe. Mostly
No.
Asian country.
Yeah. But amazingly, US is importing them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
US, there's a lot of people, they love sushi nowadays, and probably that's the reason they use.
So, yeah, so on that note, maybe we were thinking if we could come up with some way we could, like you said, maybe farm.
Okay, farm.
Or look at alternative ways of collecting these urchins, because at the moment we're just taking them off the reefs and.
Oh, just off the reefs and just.
Yes.
Collecting.
Yes.
So then who are collecting those nowadays? The women or just men?
Mostly the women.
I see.
Or villagers, whoever's available to go and collect them.
Okay, I'm gonna share the story. I'm from the GWL island, a small island in South Korea. There's a women that just dive into the water and collect the sea urchin by themselves. And that's how it works. But we don't really quite farm this sea urchin I don't know. I don't know. It's really difficult to grow them in their like a contained area. I don't really know. So you have to figure it out. Is it really difficult to farming, or just it's in economically just leave it there in the collect it from in nature? And you have to also think about that. Is economical, or is really it's good to make it a farm and just make more business out of it, make an industry out of it. 이게 우리도 양식을 해요. So Dr. Beck shared the story that sea urchin sometimes like a farming is marine farming is not that easy, because if there is a parasite of the some of the like disease is occur, and they just like kill every single one, right? So that's a good point. So then that's a challenge, right? If we bring it up, sea urchin to the farming, then what you have to embrace, whatever the challenge. What happens if there is like some of the disease and the parasite is go around, and what do you have? How do you prevent, and how do you avoid those kind of situation, and how do you deal with when it happens? That'll be another like in perspective. And also if there is the case, you can probably bring it up some of the researchers in abroad about these issues, and that will be the potential collaborators, right? And so if you want to make a sea urchin industry bigger, then who are the stakeholders? As a local community, or Minister of Fishery, or all of them? And who will be the most who will be the like a main beneficiary for this? And that's the thing you need to consider when you're developing an action plan, right? And for the collaboration, like I mentioned before, you're just looking for which country highly active in this area, and what kind of method they are taking for this. Okay. And moving on to the outcomes and success criteria, then how do you judge? How do you measure that your business, your action plan is going well? And the volume of products, or the total money you export to the other countries, and those kind of things you have to consider, right? And if you decide to then make this industry bigger, then what national level support will be necessary? And what is it, funding, or just research, or communication in local community? Renee, you are on mute.
For the sea urchins. Sea urchins. Then we have to do a management plan for them.
I just heard that Sandy mentioned about some of the management plan. So your voice is breaking it up. I don't know, just and accidentally unmute and discussing your group members and just I overheard. I don't know. I don't know. You're just actually speaking up or just discussing your partner, your group members.
Yeah, we're just discussing it with the
I see.
group.
Okay, and in this action plan, probably you just mentioned what's the biodiverse and the current Fiji and bring it up the pole business and to add, and then now you just want to add the sea urchin farming and you have to probably need to address what's the challenge and opportunity. What is the opportunity will be? What is the opportunity for the sea urchin farming compared to other countries? Is it you guys have clean air and many spaces, or it's a perfect condition for growing sea urchin? That kind of things you need to address. And yeah, I understand it's just going to our business, sea urchin business and industrial scale farming is really important for you and for an export and profitable to government, because the collecting sea urchin by hand has really taken a lot of time. It's a lot of efforts, especially for women in really busy schedule. They have to raise a kid and just go to the ocean and collecting sea urchin and go to the market and sell it. That's not a really task. So industrial scale farming, as for me, it's good, but there's a lot of challenges you guys will also encounter in the end, right? You haven't done anything for this farming before, and it is suitable for farming and how to deal with the disease, and well, if you just go to industrial scale, how do you sell and which country you sell, and is there any other country outside they already been doing this, then how to collaborate with them? Those are kind of things I want to see in your action plan. And in my hometown, Jeju Island, and somehow those women diver, they don't want their business with other big industry because they just want to help them by themselves for their living. They just go to ocean, they just collect, and that's their way to live, right? They just done that for generation to generation, and they don't even allow to some of the men divers with some equipment, because if they just go to the ocean inside and then they sweep all the sea urchin with the proper gears, right? So these women diver, they don't wear any gear. They just how to call it, just free divers actually, without any like proper gears. And
free dive.
they, so So you have to, in that case, I don't know, it's like in Fiji also they do the free dive or they just wear a gear. If there's a free dive, then probably their local community, they don't really want it, especially those stakeholders, the women divers, they don't really want to go to the industry scale because they losing their job in the end.
Right.
So how to communicate with that, and also how to then give them a benefit or how to collaborate with them. And communication is also be a big issue before you guys go into the industry scale.
Marikin specimen and all.
Yeah, here in Fiji,
Communication just do picking. They
yeah,
just collect from the reef.
exactly. There's no diving involved. We just walk along the reef
Oh,
when
really?
it's low tide, and we just pick.
Oh, that's great. I mean, in Korea, we have to dive. There's no sea urchin on the surface. Okay, that's great. I mean, after your environment is that good and just, growing in, and that they just appear on the reef and you just make a proper environment, they're great. But that's one thing is happening natural, but industry scale might be different. And story is really different. Do you have enough space, enough place, and because your farming is not just happening in nature, right? And how do you just spread this? It's not seed, there. And how to culture and how to nurture and those kind of things. You really think through. And also Dr. Beck recommended that because you are mostly like the officers, government officers, I understand you probably know about the marine lives and organisms, but not as good as some of the like taxonomists or the marine scientists, right? So in Korea, we have a legislation, of course, but they try to listen to the field scientists and researchers and marine scientists. So I think I just recommend, do you guys have any windows or just opportunity to get together with a field scientist and marine scientists and listen the various opinion about this diversity or just farming or those kind of things. And I think really if you don't, probably you guys need to have those kind of opportunity to bring it up, these issues, and listen from very many opinions from many different voices. So one thing you need to also think about how to then make a legislation, right? Proper legislation, and how to encourage the stakeholders to follow those new regulation, because many people don't like the new regulation, right? And before that, you need to listen a lot of opinion. So at this moment, I just want to know what you actually do in your in your daily basis. Natalie, what do you do? I just want to hear what do you actually do one by one. So Natalie, what do you do in your what are your job function?
So I serve as a enforcement officer in the Offshore Fisheries Management Division alongside Saini. Most of the time we conduct boarding and inspection of fishing vessels that come into Fiji. And aside from that, we also conduct inspections for export commodities, which normally involve finfish,
I see.
sea urchins. Yeah. So before they export it, we normally go and conduct the inspection.
I see. So if you just sea urchin business is going to the industry scale, and in the last if that is exported to foreign country, will be the right officer to go around and check the quality and you know say it is okay to go or not, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And most of the time just checking their weight, but there's no size limit or anything for those.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your your job. And I see Lilieta. Can you share what you're doing?
So I'm a research officer in the north. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Could you repeat? Could you repeat that? I couldn't hear you well. Could you repeat that?
I'm a research officer in the north.
Okay. Your voice is breaking up. Sorry. You are a law officer?
Research officer.
Research officer. Okay.
Research.
Great. Okay.
And I'm based in Rambi Island.
Island. Okay.
Most of the things that I did is doing awareness programs. At the moment, I'm thinking of doing a coral planting and mangrove planting. Also doing sea and land patrol there around the island. Also have I'm also a data collector in Rami Island.
I see. I'm really curious about your coral planting. Is coral species really disappearing in Fiji Island as well? Okay, that's global issue. Okay. So how do you deal with this global level of decrease in biodiversity?
That is one of the issues that we are facing, climate change. So that's why I was thinking of venturing into mangrove planting and also coral planting to do some ocean restoration.
Okay.
We also have FED deployments around the 4 islands in Rambi, 4 villages in Rambi. Also doing some aquaculture there. And I was also thinking of introducing mangrove oyster to some of the interested communities in Rambi.
I see. All right. Thank you for sharing your what you're doing. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Renee?
I'm an EMS analyst, electronic monitoring with electronic monitoring unit.
Okay.
Basically, we're classified as dry observers. So the same thing the observers do on the longline vessels, longline tuna vessels,
Okay.
we do, but in the office
Oh.
through video footage.
So you don't go you don't go to field.
We only go if we have to assist with pot sampling.
Okay.
And like at the moment we're having BDM operations, beach demo operations. So if we get chosen to get deployed to go and monitor the sales and the harvest of sea cucumbers, then, but otherwise I'm mostly in the office looking at tuna catches.
I see. I heard that there's nowadays a lot of issues in illegal and unreported. What is that?
Underreported.
Yeah. And is that really happening in Fiji Island?
Yes, it's one of our biggest issues in Fiji Islands.
I see.
Yes, not only with tuna, with basically all of our commodities.
Those illegal activities make you really, really busy. I think.
Yes, that's
Okay.
why they're deploying officers for this beach demo operation.
All right. Thank you much for that. Tamari, what do you do? Tamari, you are on mute. Could you turn on your mic? Tamari, could you turn on? Okay, good.
Thank you. I'm looking after Kandavo.
You're looking at what? Sorry?
Kandavo.
Kandau?
Kandavu, it's an island
Kandau.
station in
Southern
Kandavu.
part of
Okay.
Fiji.
Okay.
I'm actually doing the same work with Lily.
Good. Okay. Research officer?
Yeah, working fisheries assistant,
Oh, okay.
working with the communities.
I see. What community is you're working with? What they do in the local community?
Like we're doing some fisheries projects like
I see.
fish ponds,
Okay.
planting seaweeds.
Okay. I'm very interested in that and so it. Okay.
Mangroves.
Okay.
Yeah, with giant clams.
I see. Giant clam. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And we also looking after fishermen's, like
okay.
issuing the fishing licenses
I see.
and collecting data.
Okay. How many diverse species in kelp or seaweed do you have in Fiji? And do you guys eat? Because we Korean and Asian couple of Asian country, they do eat kelp. And kelp seaweed. Seaweed is a really, really good candidate for export. So think about that. All right. Okay. Next, so Bibina. Yeah.
Vivina.
Bibina.
Hi, Young King.
Hi. Yes. Bibina, the connection is not. Yeah. Hi.
Yes,
Yeah.
unstable.
Okay. Yeah, the connection is unstable.
Okay, good now.
Okay. Good.
Okay. I work in the east. I look after the eastern division of Fiji. That mostly the maritime islands, eh?
Okay.
But I'm based in Suva. So my work involves the extension work, community development, infrastructure development to the community in the maritime islands.
Okay.
So basically, it's more like administration work for all the stations that are out in the maritime islands.
I see.
In terms of implementation of projects, we work closely with the research section. So we do the program, it goes with the recommended section of the ministry, and to develop the committee. So the projects we implement, it assist them in terms of income generation community, the food security, and we also to assist the community in terms of the resources. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
and collecting data from the community.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. So I think a sustainable development is
Yes.
key issues nowadays.
Yes.
Do you elaborate
Yes.
a little more? So what kind of efforts do you guys put into for
Okay.
SDG
Okay, we
or
have
SD?
Develop. We on the community. They have local. They have the protected area in each community.
I see.
And we also give out fishing license. We have the numbers that we give. We also have now we supplying them with we have plants in these maritime islands. So supply ice, the provision of ice to the fishermen in order for them to preserve their.
Okay.
And then we also supply to those islands that does not have good access. They don't have good water source. We supply them with a freezer. And in terms of sustainability on that, once we supply with that, the fishermen are assisted in terms of storing their catch, so they don't have to go out to the sea.
I see.
And catch preserve and wait for the ferry that serves the island. So catch are sold on the boat.
I see. Okay. All right. Good story. And the next is saying, do you have anything to share with? So Sani, your mic is off.
Yeah. Well, for me, I work the offshore vision of the liners. And we do boarding and inspection on those local and also foreign vessels, particularly on their catches. And also do port monitoring on those vessels. Import and so for transshipment. We do port transshipment for foreign vessels. That's for the big vessel like Perseus and carrier vessel. And I also do export inspection before they export their factory. Always go and do inspection on fisheries commodities before they've been issued with a export permit. We also do import inspection.
I see.
For bait fish and other fishery products being imported to Fiji. That's all.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay. It's nice work. Nice work. Okay. I'm thinking that probably we can bring it up some of the inspection issues if you gotta like make a sea urchin business into the industry scale. So on how to inspect and those kind of issues probably Zany and who else was it on inspection. And those two can write it up those kind of issues. And lastly, Marama, can you share what you do?
Bola. Actually, I'm a Pearl project officer, and I'm actually based in Sabsabu. And most of the activities, there are like 9 farms, 9 pearl farms located in Honolulu. By 3, I mean 4. I mean 5 farms. I mean 4 farms are owned by women's group.
I see. Oh, okay. So you are the right person how to just making sea urchin business into farming, and how do you involve women workers or researchers involved in this business? Am I right?
I do people. I mean
yeah.
Pearl farming, basically. Pearl farming.
Yeah, for farming, right? Okay.
So half mabe pearl. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Are you done? Any more? No?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So after I heard what you're doing, probably you can just make it up a good story about how to make this sea urchin into proprietary business, and how to make it registration for this. And some of you can probably help this action plan in terms of regulation and registration, what kind of regulation is necessary. Then some of the research officers probably bring it up, some issues, what kind of, how to handle what the disease and those kind of unexpected things happen. Also, how do you tell apart this species is different from other species or other sea urchin from different countries, and how do you maintain this good product, good sea urchin constantly in terms of genetic variation? How this genetic variation it is, and how different from other genetic variation in sea urchin from other country kind of things, and how do you confirm that this is from Fiji and from this particular farming area compared to other, and how do you where to plant this farming aquaculture in this one, and is it okay? Is it really close enough to the MPA, marine protected area? And if that's so, is there any problem that occurs from that? And also, what if someone just got into the farming business and sneak it out and just took it out, and how to prevent them? And those kind of things, probably some of the registered officers can write it up. And project officer like Marama, and how to make it industrial scale, and what's the barrier, how do you just overcome this kind of barriers, right? And because pearl farming is because you have an experience in pearl farming, and how do you connect to the other farming, aquaculture and aqua farming. Okay, that's what I can come up with right now. And do you have any comments? Any question? I see the green faces, and I just tell that but you guys have to write the presentation material. Also, I can give you some time. Okay, we can just close this session if you want, Ollie. Then you guys can discuss each other and have a little more time to prepare tomorrow's presentation. Which one do you prefer? And don't worry, I'll be around by 1 p.m. So if you don't see me, but I'll be here nearby. So if you have any question, feel free to ask me a question and leave the message in the chat box, and then I'll check frequently and just get back to you. Is that okay? Okay, so I'll give you let's close this group 1 session and just go ahead and discuss each other and bring it up. Good action plan, please. And tomorrow you will present it. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in a moment in the other room like with everybody else. And after,
Okay.
okay, all right,
Set.
all right.